Calm down,
There we
sir.
go.
Sir.
He then started to bludgeon the girl ruthlessly.
Oh!
Real, she's real, she's real!
Ah!
Screaming like a psycho.
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Mad Viper here, and welcome back to Friday Frights, the show where we sit down, we watch some scary, spooky videos, and we eat snacks, but there's no daily special because never a daily special. Before we get into it, I just want to say I switched around my setup a little bit. The mic's in a different location, the camera is more in front of me, so I don't gotta every time I try to look at you guys. So, that being said, welcome back to Animated Horror Stories. So I'm kind of afraid right now, because the second option I see is 22 True Horror Stories, and the thumbnail is Dairy Queen. I don't think I want to experience a Dairy Queen after the last Friday Frights, but we're gonna go down this list. By the way, if you can't see, mini Corys in the back. I love it. We're seeing some messed up stuff here. Oh no. Oh no. I love Burger King. We gotta watch it because I love Burger King.
Ads on YouTube must be so annoying. But with 3 clicks, you can install an ad blocker and you'll never.
Okay guys, this is the 3 true Burger King horror stories. Okay, please don't ruin Burger King for me.
This happened to me recently, and I don't think I can work in a drive-thru again. I just moved out and got a job at Burger King. I always worked the night shift, as it had less customers, hence less trouble.
Can I just say, whoever works like the night shift or graveyard shifts, you're a different breed of person. Because I could never work a job that late because I'd be too scared. If I hear one thing fall or something, I'm leaving. I wouldn't close down, it's just I'm gone. That's why I commend people who work those shifts, because it really wouldn't be me.
My apartment was a 5-minute walk from my workplace, so I had no issue getting home late. Overall, it was an ideal job for me to begin with. At least, that's what I thought. It was a boring Monday night, and I was sitting by the counter.
What is that phone? Pear? Half-eaten pear? That's a half-eaten pear. That looks like a sofa.
Watching
I don't
YouTube
even know
videos
what that is.
when I heard a car pull into the drive-thru.
What, you watching YouTube videos?
Counter watching YouTube videos
video.
when I heard a car pull into the drive-thru.
That Mad Viper.
I quickly put my phone aside and waited for the customer to drive up. As soon as the car approached the window, I said in a fake, joyful voice,
news.
Welcome to Burger King. May I take your order?
"Yeah, we're hungry." I saw a man wearing a vibrant colored Hawaiian t-shirt sitting in the driver's seat. He had a disturbing stare, but that's not the only thing that was weird about him. He had a skeleton dressed up as a woman in his passenger seat. I couldn't decide whether it was creepy or funny, but I took the high road and let it slide.
May I take your order, sir?
"A Whopper for me. And what will you have, darling?" Now the situation took a creepy turn. The man kept talking to the skeleton as if it was a real woman. He was smiling and laughing and whispering into its ear, which it obviously didn't have. He went on with his insanity for another 5 minutes, and I still patiently waited because that's what was expected of me in this job. Okay, so a Whopper for me, and she'll have a cheeseburger.
Sure, sir.
I handed him the order along with the receipt, and he paid in cash. Seeing his behavior, I could tell he thought the skeleton was a real person. He slowly drove away, and I sat by the window like a statue for at least half an hour. It took me some time to digest what just happened tonight.
Did you close the window
After that night, this man became a regular customer. Almost every other night, he came to our store dressed in the same manner with his skeleton girlfriend and ordered the same food. At some point, I too got used to it. I'm the person who loves minding her own business, so I never bothered to ask. I just did my job and he went on his way. One
Yeah,
night it was
minding your
raining heavily,
business
and I was
will
waiting for my
definitely get
shift
you
to
far.
end so that I could go home. Suddenly, I saw the man pulling into the drive-thru. He ordered the usual and started talking to his skeleton girlfriend. Meanwhile, I found out that we were running short on cheese, so it won't be possible to make a cheeseburger for his skeleton girlfriend tonight.
Sir? I apologize, but we're running a little short on cheese. Can we substitute it with something else?
Oh no! But Jenny loves cheese. This is her favorite.
I understand that, but as I said, we are short on cheese. The triple Whopper is the same price. How about that?
But Jenny doesn't want that! She wants her usual cheeseburger! I was being polite to this freak the whole time, but when he screamed at me, I lost my calm.
Well, why don't you take Jenny where she belongs? Like, a graveyard?
The man widened his eyes and stared at me with an intense gaze. I expected him to be angry at this point.
Bro, she roasted the skeleton. She didn't have to do her like that. She didn't have to do poor Jenny like that.
But surprisingly, he
Oh,
didn't
man.
get angry. Instead, a creepy grin appeared on his face.
Oh.
Oh, I can see what's going on here. You're jealous. Jenny, she is jealous. Isn't that sweet? She's crushing on you, bae.
What the hell? Look, you freak. That is nothing but a skeleton, and no one is crushing on you. The truth is, you know you can't even get a real girlfriend. Maybe that's why you're putting on this freak show.
As soon as I said that,
Or maybe that's his real dead woman that he potentially murdered and is in I don't even know what I don't even know. But yeah.
I saw the color of his
Yeah,
face
that's
change.
probably a
He didn't
real
say a
woman
single
before.
word and drove away silently.
A
week passed by
woman.
and he
My girl, because I usually say my guy. My girl, you are treading on thin ice, man. You did not have to do her like
was
that.
nowhere to be seen. Even though I felt bad for being rude to a customer, he did get on my nerves that night.
Bro.
Hence, he gave me no choice. But after some time, he showed up again. This time, he didn't have the skeleton in his car. He came alone.
That's
I wanted
'cause
to
he's
stay
trying to
away
make
from
a
any
new
kind of trouble,
skeleton.
so I behaved professionally.
Your order, sir?
A Whopper for me. I delivered him the food and he handed me the money. I thought, thank God it's
$50 for
over.
a walk. He
But
angry.
things took a turn as he took a U-turn and parked his car right across the street. He then sat on the hood of his car and started eating his burger while staring directly
Oh
at me.
my goodness.
The mayo was dripping from one side,
Oh my
and the ketchup
goodness.
was all over his mouth like blood.
Oh
He was
my
licking
goodness.
the mayo off his hand without breaking eye contact with me. He ate the
Oh
entire
my
burger like
goodness.
this, and then drove away. I mean, I can't explain this obscene behavior, but all I can say is, that night after going home, I took a long bath. I've never felt this disgusted ever.
I'm doing this for y'all, man. I'm doing this for y'all. Because y'all clearly liked the last one. I thought I'd do some more animated horror. I'm
In my
never
life.
going back to Burger
The
King
next day, I
again,
informed
man.
my boss about this man, because this was getting too much for me to take.
It's getting
He
too
told
much
me
for
to
me
call
to take.
911 immediately if I see him again. He also informed the other day shift workers about this guy. Everyone
Good
was on
boss.
the lookout for him
Good
to
boss.
come and get arrested by the cops for charges of harassment. But again,
Harassment. I'm sorry. I know people in different areas. I don't know where he lives. It sounds like he's from America, but might not be. But harassment. I'm gonna let that one sink in. Harassment. Harassment, bro.
and get arrested by the cops
Harassment!
for charges of harassment.
Oh
But
my
again,
god.
He didn't show up for weeks. Even though everyone told me this man was just a crazy freak and that he's gone, I
Man,
knew.
he ain't gone.
I knew he would come again.
Yes.
And he didn't prove me wrong. It was around midnight. I was packing my
Oh.
stuff to leave early that day. I already informed my boss about this when suddenly I heard car tires creaking in the near distance. It took me a fraction of a second to recognize the car. It was him.
You
the
can
odd
recognize
customer.
the car by the car
I
tires?
dialed 911 right away and waited for him to approach me. As soon as he stopped near the window,
Yeah, he angry.
I noticed something different this time. A girl was sitting next to him, and by a girl, I mean an actual person. I could tell she was heavily drunk. I could smell the strong odor of alcohol coming from her clothes. She was completely passed out in the passenger seat, and a terrifying feeling grabbed my heart. I knew this man must have lured her into his trap, because there's no way a sensible person would ever agree to hang out with this freak.
What?
He gave me a death-cold stare and smiled in the scariest way possible. That's my girlfriend, and she is real. I can prove that to you. Before I could act on this matter, he took out a wrench from the car's glove compartment.
Wait
and
a
stared
minute,
at
calm
me
down,
one last
calm
time.
down, sir.
See for yourself.
Calm down,
There you
sir.
go.
Sir.
He then started to bludgeon the girl ruthlessly.
Oh!
She's real!
Ah!
Screaming like a psycho, slashing her face with the wrench. She started to tremble like roadkill, but due to her stage of intoxication, she couldn't get the chance to scream once.
Oh!
I froze at the window. I couldn't believe what was happening before my eyes. The man kept
Oh my
beating her,
God, he
even after
was...
her brains came out,
Oh!
gushing blood splattering everywhere.
Her eyes!
She's real. Now do you believe me? Do you? You hoe! I heard the sirens of the cop cars nearby, but I couldn't bear the sight anymore. I collapsed on the ground, screaming out loud. 2 days later, I woke up in the hospital. My boss came to see me. He told me that the cops caught the man red-handed. There's no question he's guilty
clearly.
of first-degree murder.
Red-handed.
The girl he murdered
just
that
bludgeoned
night
a girl
went to
to
a
death.
local pub. He probably picked her up once she passed out and brought her to the drive-thru. The cops are making sure that this psycho gets what he deserves.
Yeah,
I
the
don't
death
think
penalty.
I'll ever be able to erase that night from my mind.
I don't think I can
Is it
ever
my
work
fault
at a
that the
Burger
girl
King
lost her
ever.
life? Did I provoke the creep to do this?
Yes, she
What do you
did.
think?
I think you did it. I think you did it. The second one, I don't know how I feel about this,
I
guys.
was a full-time employee at Burger King and had worked a monotonous 10-hour shift every day.
10 hours.
The quality of my life wasn't the greatest, as the countless hours of work were starting to become more and more strenuous.
That's how it be.
I desperately needed money, as I wanted to move out of my grandfather's house and into a residence of my own. My grandfather took the
I'm trying to do that now. I'm trying to get a residence of my own. I love Mama Viper, but you know, 18. I'll be 19 in like 7 months. Like I'm ready. I'm ready.
responsibility of taking care of me since I was an infant, due to the tragic loss of my parents.
Damn.
My mother and father had suffered a fatal car crash which granted my grandfather full custody of me. I began comprehending
No aunts,
news as I
no
got older,
uncles?
but oddly enough,
Just your
wasn't too
grandpa.
affected by it, as he fit the bill of being the best caretaker that a kid could ever ask for. Playing duck hunt was one of my favorite things to do whenever I wasn't so busy at work. My grandfather didn't own any consoles that you would usually see in today's modern day. Just
Yeah.
the old school Nintendo with the classic gun controller.
I mean, hey, calm down, buddy. The NES, that was fire tier quality. The PS5, yeah, the graphics look good, but everybody remembers the NES had to blow on everything to make it work, had to push the reset button to restart stuff. Like, everybody knows the NES and the older gen consoles were better. Like, everybody knows this. Like, calm down,
Hey,
buddy.
Grandpa.
Don't worry about me, son. Pay attention to the game and get that birdie. That's
Nah.
it, Larry. Now go on. Shoot the birdie. Now!
Besides entertaining Grandpa with my
Grandpa,
spectacular duck hunt
calm
skills,
down.
I was usually serving customers at the drive-thru of Burger King.
Trying to make
I
a real
always switched
shooter.
back and forth from the kitchen to providing customer service at the front counter. Our location wasn't usually as busy as most Burger King branches, as we were located by the corner of a quiet residential area, and there weren't many teenagers or kids around. Mostly just an older crowd that were either retired or just big fans of our adversary,
What is going on
McDonald's.
with these ads?
Working at Burger King for a long duration of my postgraduate time off made me familiarized with the regulars who would come to dine in. I was usually scheduled for the night shift, so the difference in crowd was pretty evident. As our venue always
crackheads and drug addicts.
Loiterers around this time. Then there was this one guy.
No, I don't like his hair.
9 p.m.
Bro,
every evening,
headphones.
dressed as a Burger King mascot. It was pretty evident this guy was either some crazy lunatic or just a really huge Burger King fan who wanted to look the part.
Oh no.
I always got a few laughs and giggles every time I saw him, as the mock-up of the Burger King mascot was pretty accurate, but at the same time outlandish. As impressive as his getup was, I was more intrigued by the absurd orders he usually requested. I remember him approaching the front counter as I said,
Nope.
"Hi sir, welcome to Burger King. May I take your order?" The mascot then said,
Give me 30 Whoppers.
"Sir, are you sure you want 30 Whoppers?"
I said 30 Whoppers! Make Whoppers now!
Get him 30 Whoppers,
Okay,
cuz!
sir, just the sandwiches, or would you like to make it a combo?
Have it your way.
The mascot then placed about $150 on the counter and began walking towards the seating area.
Is that how much it
I
is?
recall him sitting in one of the booths as the employees in the back began preparing the 30 Whoppers. About 10 minutes later,
Damn.
I bring the stack of Whoppers on a tray towards the mascot's table and notice he had his cell phone held up by a salt shaker with the video camera recording. I placed the tray down and casually
What is
walked
he
back
about to
behind
do?
the
A
front counter.
mukbang?
I then saw the mascot completely demolish the Whoppers one by one. It appeared he was either filming a mukbang or just had a preposterous craving for Whoppers. I recall seeing the mascot eat a total of around 10 Whoppers out of the bunch and then pass out from the inevitable itis while drooling on the furniture. The time was around 12 a.m., which was when our restaurant closed for in-dining service. And
Man, he lucky. If it was me, I'd be like, Sir, you can't sleep on this premises. You can only eat or order. You need to go.
So when it was
He real lucky,
the end of my
man.
shift, I knew in the back of my head that I had to politely escort the man.
You still got 20
so I
Whoppers,
slowly approach
man.
him as I see him snoring heavily. I gently tap his shoulder and say, "Hello, sir.
Oh my
I
God,
unfortunately need
just
to ask you to
you.
leave as we're closing."
Give me Whopper. Give me Whopper. Give me Whopper.
Sir, I'm politely
Give me
asking you to
Whopper.
leave.
Make me Whopper, then I leave.
Sir, we can't do that. You need to leave now. I firmly secure my stance with an assertive poker face, while trying not to show any signs that I was nervous as hell.
The sweat is
The
giving
mascot
it
then
away.
gets up and walks out of the restaurant. Calling an Uber was completely necessary, as I wanted to avoid potentially
His hair,
being seen by that weirdo on the
his
street
hair.
or public transit. The time was roughly 1 a.m. when I made it home and immediately got in the shower. My paranoia began setting in, as all I could hear was weird noises coming from outside my shower curtain.
That's when you punch.
Grandpa, is that you? That's when I heard the same Burger King mascot voice from earlier saying,
Open the door.
"What the hell? How'd you get inside my house?" "Open the door! Open the door! Open the door!"
Oh
"Get
my
the hell
God!
out of here!"
Fine, have it your way.
That's when the
What
man
was
grabbed the
that?
door hinges and repeatedly slammed his head against the door. "Get the hell out of my house or I'm calling the cops!" As the mascot continued slamming his head, I remembered my grandpa secretly keeping one of his handguns stashed in the bathroom cabinets. I took it out and pointed it towards the door as I said,
Shoot.
Please don't make me do this. Please just go. I have a lot to live for."
Here's Johnny!
Oh
The
my
mascot successfully
God.
plummets his head through the door. Just then, I see my
Headshot!
grandpa standing next to me. I shout, "Grandpa, help me!"
That's it, Larry. Now go on. Shoot the birdie. Now!
I pulled the trigger and said,
Look, Grandpa, I did it! I killed the birdie! Aren't you proud of your grandson? I still got it, don't I?
Nice shot!
Oh my God. Are
It was late
these
spring,
true?
around the month of May, when I landed a full-time position at my local Burger King.
It just says B.
The Burger
It's
King was
supposed
about
to
a
say
15-minute
BK.
walk from my apartment complex, so getting there wasn't so dreadful of a commute compared to my previous locations of employment.
Yeah.
Like I said before, I was a recent hiree, so I was at the stage of getting used to the workplace. The job consisted of tasks such as making food at a fast rate, doing the usual customer service at the drive-thru window and front counter, and of course, the everyday maintenance work around the restaurant to help keep the cleanliness at a reasonable standard.
I can do that.
I personally found everything about the job fine, except for the night shifts that my boss would occasionally schedule for me.
What they do at the night shift.
I unfortunately had to take every shift handed to me, as I was the newbie of the workplace who didn't have the same seniority that the other staff had.
I hated that. I hated that when I was working at Kroger. They would do that, and they would make you work when you didn't want to work because you didn't have seniority. That's why I got seniority, and I just got a straight shift. It was amazing.
I would usually work alongside my coworker Jeff, who was also a new hiree,
Hi,
and
Jeff.
happened to be around the same age group as myself.
Have you ever met a black Jeff before? I don't think I've ever met a black Jeff before. But hi, Jeff.
We got along pretty well, as he
And
was a
he's
humorous,
bald?
witty kind of guy who would often crack jokes and do silly pranks just to make the lengthy shifts go by. Well, at least with the exception of this older gentleman named Bob. Our boss usually scheduled Bob to work with us during the weekends,
he looks more like a
including
Bobby
Fridays, as
than
we
just
tend to
Bob.
garner more customers around that time. I honestly felt uncomfortable every time Bob was around, as he always gave me an unsettling smirk and would flirtatiously wink at me whenever Jeff or myself would make eye contact with him. I was honestly convinced he had a thing for young males such as myself, so I did my best to stay professional and be cordial during our work shifts. I remember during one of the day shifts, I went to go use the urinal in the men's washroom, only to see it being occupied by none other than Bob. Our washroom was quite small and only consisted of one toilet and one urinal stall, so there was a high probability that you were bound to wait till someone was done doing their business. What made things worse was how this was the only men's washroom in the facility, so that meant that it was what our employees used alongside the hordes
Aren't they
of
supposed to have two bathrooms? Three? One for employees? I mean, two for employees and one for people? Like, I mean, customers? I thought that was just standard, like, across the board, but I guess not.
customers that came in and out of the restaurant.
Oz! What is that?
To get a
Look at the teeth. In editing Viper, put a picture of Bob right next to him. It's Bob!
reaction out of me.
It's
I
Bob!
honestly felt oblivious about the whole ordeal, so I decided to head inside through the back entrance of the Burger King. As I got inside, I was greeted by my fellow coworker Jeff, who pulled
Hi,
me to
Jeff.
the side and said, "Hey, dude, you know who that BK mascot is, right?" No. Who is it?" "It's Bob.
I called it, bro! I swear to God, I have not watched these at all. I'm sorry, I'm just good at predicting things. I have a very good eye and a good attention to detail, alright? I knew
Boss
that
gave
was
him the
Bob.
gig so he could potentially attract more customers, but from the looks of it, I think he's scaring everyone away. Well, at least he's not in the kitchen with us anymore. Yeah, he should be heading home soon anyway. His shift is basically almost done.
Yes.
Thank God for that. About an hour into my shift,
Oh my
it was
God.
just me and my friend Jeff running the kitchen and drive-thru orders. The indoor dining area was closed due to after hours, so we basically had the whole restaurant to ourselves.
Nice.
I could recall Jeff excusing
they
himself
still
to
got
use the
cameras,
washroom
but
while I continued to watch YouTube videos on my cell phone.
you
while
watching
awaiting
that
the
Mad
next
Viper
drive-thru
or
customer.
Corey extension?
I remember slightly
watching that,
drifting off
Corey?
to sleep when I see the
Oh,
same
God!
mascot make an appearance.
Ah!
Bob, what the hell are you doing here? I then noticed the mascot holding a large kitchen knife while slowly raising it in the air as if he was preparing to potentially stab me. I shouted, "Get the hell away from me or I'm calling the cops!
Bob!
Help! Somebody please
Bob,
help me!"
I'll do whatever you
I
want.
contemplated on jumping out the drive-thru window, but
It was
instead
locked.
took a more sinister approach by grabbing the kitchen knife conveniently
That
sitting
looked
next
like
to the
a
deep fryer.
sword, bro!
I raised the knife up with my trembling hand, as if I was ready to fight for my life. The mascot then raised the knife up in the air and began walking towards my direction, as I began pleading for my life as I said, "Bob, please stop. Please don't do this. I have a lot to live for." That's when the
A lot of these youngins keep saying a lot of these youngins keep saying I got a lot to live for. You're working at a Burger King, man. I don't think that's a lot to live for. I think you should probably just stop. Just stop. Don't say that.
mascot
That's-
miraculously slips on the ground from the
What?
lettuce scattered all over the ground, as a
Oh
knife he was
God,
holding
y'all using
slides out of
foot
reach.
lettuce?
I then stood on top of the mascot and yelled, "This is why they call it Burger King foot lettuce!" and began repeatedly stabbing through the chest area of the costume. "It's just self-defense. He was trying to kill me first. There's no way in hell I'm going to jail today. Kid, what the hell are you doing?" That's when I slid the Burger King mask off who I thought was Bob, only to see my friend Jeff. It was just a prank. No, no, no! Ah!
And that'll have to do it for this video. That's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys are a little freaked out as I am. Those Burger King stories really made me not want to eat Burger King anymore, even though I love the Whoppers. I would never work there because the workers be going through some crazy stuff at Burger King. But if you like this video, how about you slither over to that subscribe button like you should have already done, and hit that like button while you're at it too. But it's been your boy Viper. I hope you had a spooky time, and I'll see you next video. Viper out.